G'day and welcome back to Duckzorly Gaming and episode 2 of our early access Let's Play series on Penberlan Farm Deluxe, a new map or upcoming map by Dusty Dave Modding. So in this episode we're continuing on from where we left off in the first episode, and we're just finishing off the ploughing of field 3, and we're then going to proceed to get the fertilizer out, and we're going to fertilize the field in preparation for sowing, and we'll probably then go off and plough one of our other fields if we need to do it. So we're going to get straight into getting this all worked and work going along. So let's see how we go. This is a wonderful new map that's coming out from Dusty Dave, as we said in episode 1. Really looking forward to the final release so everyone can get their hands on it. But it's going to be very interesting to see how we go along on this map, because as we said, we can't use any big equipment, and we've got to be very mindful of the size of our access to and from the fields, as it is quite tight for some of the smaller equipment, as can be seen by that gate there. But we're going to have a lot of fun along the way, that's for sure. Now again, a big thank you to Dusty Dave, and also to Eustace, my good mate Eustace, for getting me access to this map. It's a wonderful chance to explore a map that has so much going for it, and we're so looking forward to playing this over the longer term. Much like we did with Penberlan, but unfortunately, as we explained in our last episode, we just weren't able to get that up and running and recording, so we ended up just having that one purely as a solo play. So we'll just oh, he's not going to fit in that one. Okay, that's fine. Parking back down the shed where I got him from, probably a good idea. Alright. So I'll just put him down in here, and then we'll grab the fertilizer spreader, and then we'll go and fertilize our we got field 9 and field 3, I think it was. Full concentration as we're reversing in to make sure we don't damage anything. Alright. So we'll grab our fertilizer, and then we'll head out. Won't take long, because this fertilizer spreader's got, I think it's a 36 meter width. So for these smaller fields, it certainly isn't going to take too long. Alright, off we go. So we'll do field 9. Field 9 it is, I think. Field 9, and then we'll do field 3. So we'll get them up and running nice and quick. So this will almost be one pass, I would imagine. Lovely bit of kit, this horse. Again, it's from the horse DLC, the free DLC that was released recently, and is available on the Giants mod hub, and also from the in-game mod hub. But yeah, it's some wonderful equipment in that pack for sure. So you have no reason not to download it, being a free pack. So I certainly urge you to do so if you haven't already done so. And you've got some good fertilizer spreaders. You've got some good seeders. The 2 seeders that come with that pack are phenomenal. I really like those as well. You've got a nice self-propelled sprayer, and a whole pile of other equipment as well. And it's a very good little pack. And there you go, quick as a flash. We're finished on that field. So now we'll head back up to the field we just finished with our ploughing. Alright, so we get this one done and we'll be well on our way then. Again, this one won't take too much. It's probably 2 or 3 runs. So with the strategy with this map, obviously, as we mentioned in the first episode, with the sheep only taking hay, certainly will not even less use for our grass. I mean, the grass can be used in the biogas, but primarily the grass we have on our grass fields will be utilised to make hay bales. So obviously we'll be using the Vermeer rake quite regularly to windrow and also tether the grass as we mow it. And we'll use the little round baler, and we'll get those bales and that done. So what we'll do is we'll get a good stockpile of that sort of stuff built up, get our arable crops running, start making a little bit of profit, and then when we start making a bit of profit, we'll start getting our sheep. Sheep will be our primary animal initially on this map, and then we might look at our pigs maybe a little bit later, but probably less likely. We'll go with the sheep so we can make the profit from the wool as well. And again, having that wonderful wool storage shed, we can stockpile all of our wool nicely away and wait till we get the highest sell point. So one of the other things that for those of you that haven't played with seasons or are yet to play with seasons, or are a bit sort of frightened of the level of detail involved with seasons, which I can attest is not that bad. I certainly remember that our good friend Grizzly Bear Sims was one of the early testers of seasons, and he was showcasing it, and I remember quite distinctly when he was showing it off, and I said to him that it's not something that I will ever probably play because it's too immersive and was just too much for me. But as he quite rightly said very early on when he was testing, that once you use the seasons mod, you'll never go back to playing vanilla again, and he was 100% right. 100%. I have one map series underway that's not seasons, not running the seasons mod, and it's just not the same. I mean, yeah, okay, it's not too bad, it's fun, it's quick, or whatever else, but it's just not the same. But what I was getting to is in the later versions of the seasons mod, you have this wonderful economy panel. So now you can actually go through and see when the best buy and sell point is for your crops, but also probably more importantly for what we were just talking about, for your animals. So as you can see here, for our sheep, we're best to buy our sheep around the first and second, or the first 4 days, game days of fall or autumn, because that's when they're going to be cheapest. And then if we're going to sell them off, we want to sell them off in spring, because that's when they're going to get the most profit. So if you want to maximize your profits, you just keep an eye on this. Same goes for the cows and the pigs. It's a wonderful addition, and it certainly makes it a lot easier. Now, the only thing in saying that I haven't yet been able to attest to, and someone might know it, I might ask my good friend Farmer Klein, because he's done a lot of work in the animals and seasons and how it all affects it, like the amount of feed you need, all that sort of stuff. The only thing I haven't worked out is whether the correlation of the value actually does directly equate to the prices that are available from the variable buy and sell points. So for instance, when season says that the sheep are going to be at the maximum sort of profit level, will that actually be shown by the actual sell points? Will actually be the prices be accurately around that level? So I mean, I'm assuming it would be. There's no reason why it wouldn't. But that's what we need to sort of just double check. But yeah, it's a wonderful part of the game in that regard. All right, so those two fields are now ready for planting. So we probably could actually get started with the planting. In fact, that's what we'll probably do. So we just need to work out what we're going to plant in there. So I'll just dump the sprayer into here. I know it'll fit in this shed. Alright, so we just reverse him in. And it helps if I go the right way, not the wrong way. Park him in here. Okay. All right. Let's have a look. Oh, we'll go map. So what we might do is we might put straw in field 3, and we might put. I haven't got a corn header. Oh, what can we? Let's have a look at what we can plant. Wheat, barley, canola, potatoes, and sugar beet. Let's put sugar beets. Oh, I haven't got because I haven't got a. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the store. All right. So what we're going to do is, if we're going to plant sugar beets, we need to be able to harvest the sugar beets. So obviously, we're not going to go out and spend a few $100,000 on a Holmer. But if we do want to harvest, then we're looking at that. We could always lease. It. So leasing is definitely an option that we could do. So that's what we might do, because the sugar beets will give us hopefully a better profit in the shorter term. That's what we might do. So we might go and plant sugar beets. Now, have I got a planter? That's the next thing that will plant sugar beets. What have we got? Yeah, so the 3R does the sugar beets, doesn't it? Okay. That's what we'll do. So the 3R's right at the back there. So we'll grab this and then we'll go plant field 9 with sugar beets. Alright, off we go. Now, in my Penberlan play, actually I'll just reverse up there and show you. In the Penberlan map, what I actually ended up doing was I made another storage area and created a silo storage area, and we might do that. So this area in through here, we put concrete in, and we made a. Well, actually, we installed a pig and cow food mixer, and we put in a couple of storage sheds, and we also put in a fermenting silo. So we may in the future still do that, because we certainly have enough in the way of grass fields at the moment. And now with the addition of those extra 4 fields to this map, we may well need that extra storage and all that sort of stuff. So that's certainly an option that's available to us, and one we may look at a little bit later down the track. All right. So what we'll do is we'll just unfold him. We'll select our sugar beets. And away we go. So our first crop in the ground will be sugar beets, and followed by straw up in field 3. Oh, sorry, wheat. Gonna plough sow some straw. Right, so we're midday on day 1 at the moment. Rain will be imminent, so we should have rain very soon, and that won't affect us. We're not harvesting at the moment, so we're not worried about the rain. The rain does not affect us in seasons for ploughing or sowing, just pretty much purely for the harvesting. So we'll be all good for that, and then it's just a matter of moving on through until we get our first harvest. We'll do a very rough up and down, I think. Won't use the GPS mod. I'm going to try and minimise the use of things like GPS. Certainly won't be any need for course play on this map. So see if we can sort of do everything entirely manually, and see how we go with our gameplay from that. So yeah, a little bit more interesting again. Another level of detail we have to worry about, but I really don't think there's any real necessity. We may use course play on fields 19, 20, the new ones up the back, at some point maybe, but certainly by and large we won't be doing any of that. We'll do it all manually. Besides which, I think by the time I finish playing or spending a few hours in Broadacres version 2, I'll be sick and tired of using course play, because that's going to be so course play heavy, it's not funny. So this map will certainly make a welcome variation from the bigger maps, whether they be a 4 times, a 8 times, or a 16 times in the case of Broadacres version 2. So for those of you that are watching and enjoying this, how many of you actually played Penberlan, the original version of this map, and did you enjoy it, or what didn't you like out of it? What do you think you'll like more out of this one, if you will? Like I said, I know I certainly enjoyed playing it solo play. I think I put about 70 odd hours into it to date. So it wasn't as if it was just a flash in the pan map for sure, but it was unfortunate I couldn't, for whatever reason, get the series going on up and on YouTube for you. But it has been a fun map, and I expect this will be no different. But yeah, I do love. I can't remember the field number. I know it's off the screen at the moment. Just the one north of field 8. The entrance to it from the road is great. So I really enjoy going to that field, and we did a lot of work in that, and we converted field 8 very early. But yeah, no, I certainly enjoy this map. So yeah, please let me know what you think of the map, well, the previous version, and are you looking at getting into this one when it gets released? I know there's been a lot of awaited maps of late. There's Oakfield from Oxygen David. Obviously there's the Broadacres version 2, which isn't for everyone because it is such a big map, and it is quite taxing on your hardware at times. What else has there been? Spectacle Island's been another one that's been out. Rathlin Island, I think, was the other one. So yeah, there's a fair few maps that have come out recently that have been reasonably, or anything from highly anticipated and waited for, in the case of like Oxygen David's Oakfield, and also, like, I mean, obviously I've been long waiting for Penberlan Deluxe when when Dusty Dave notified us that this was on the cards, I think it was going back as far as possibly even October last year, if not even earlier. I just happened to be looking over the Facebook page, his Facebook page the other day, and I noticed that I'd commented very early, and I think it was about October, about how we're looking forward to seeing this map. So yeah, it's finally sort of here. Well, I mean, thankfully, I've got access to it, so I can thankfully get into it and show you what it's like and how it looks, and hopefully you enjoy that aspect of it, and just thoroughly enjoying the output from and all the work that Dusty Dave has put into it. It certainly goes without saying that he's done a wonderful job. I mean, it's just, I guess from the non-GE experience, you would sort of could sit back and say, oh look, he hasn't done that much, he's done a couple of updates, it's fairly simple, he's added a couple of fields, well, how hard could it be? Well, that's the whole thing, we don't know. Well, I don't know how hard it would be. Well, I do. GE to me is a pain to use. I cannot get my head around it. I've tried going in there to mod some of the mods, tractors, all that sort of stuff, and I cannot understand it, I cannot use it. I mean, it's not that I'm non-technically literate. I mean, I do programming at work and all that sort of stuff, and it's just not something that I can get my head around easy. I'll probably, over time, I could, but it's not anything simple. So the fact that he spends the time, irrespective, and brings it all out. And I mean, obviously, a lot of time's gone into it. It's taken him some time to get it out. Not to expect him to be working on it full time, but irrespective, it's a lot of time and effort that goes into it. So yeah, you certainly appreciate it, but I can understand how people can quite easily just sort of go, oh well, it wouldn't take that long, whatever else, it's not that much of a change. But I'm sure there's many hundreds of hours that have gone into modifying this map to Penberlan to the state of what we see now with Penberlan Deluxe. So yeah, no, I'm really appreciative of the work he's done, and as always, I'm appreciative, as we all should be, of the work that all of our modding community do. I mean, even those mods that come out and you may have a look at them and go, look, that's rubbish, I don't like it, or whatever else. At the end of the day, if it wasn't for the modding community, and many of us have said this many times in many different ways, I suppose, if it wasn't for our wonderful modding community, this game wouldn't have the longevity and the repeatable playthrough ability. Quite simply, I mean, that's just basically exactly how it is. But anyway, I mean, I certainly wouldn't have done over 20. What have I done now? 2,100 hours plus in Farming Sim 17, and I can honestly say I've got no other game. Well, actually, there is one other game I used to play that can match that amount of hours I've put in. So it's a remarkable feat, and the game is made so much better by all the modders. So thank you to Dusty Dave and all the modding community, as always. Alright, so we're going to grab this seeder now, and we're going to head up to field 3 and we'll plough some wheat. We'll sow some wheat with the sowers. This will take a little bit longer. This is only a small seeder, so it will take a little bit of time. As my dog's going crazy because the next door neighbour dog's gone crazy. All right. Here we go. So this is only, I think it's about 3 metre width, this cedar. So it'll take a little bit of time. That's okay. We've got time. We've got plenty of time. Now I won't obviously hold you here for the whole of this field sowing. So what we will do is we'll do a header or two, and then we'll call the episode here, and I'll just finish the seeding off camera, and we'll come back in either on the next game day or a little bit later on in this game day, depending upon what else we decide needs to be done. So I just had to wet the whistle. Bit of a dry throat. So what I will remind you all is the two wonderful communities that I'm a part of. The first one is PCSG, sorry, 3 Dudes Gaming Network. I pressed the wrong button, didn't I? The 3 Dudes Gaming Network, 3dudesgn.com, is comprised of our 3 main dudes, being Eustace Pharmer, the founder, Grizzly Bear Sims, and Farmer Klein. Now, along with myself as well, I'm part of that group, but not technically one of the 3 dudes. It's sort of like a 4 dudes thing, I guess now. We have a wonderful little community over there. Lots of information to be had. It's a real sort of family-friendly type group. We have our own multiplayer server, which occasionally, but not often enough, we try and get everyone occasionally to get online and get a bit of play together, and we haven't done so lately, so we might have to get that going again. But we have a great community over there. There's a whole bunch of guys over there. Oh, pardon me, DoughBoy 2913. We have Spectre and Cows Go Moo and Aussie Paramedic, the whole pile of wonderful lads over there, and we all get along wonderfully. We provide as much information as we can. We talk about all things gaming and general. Unfortunately, Eustace has this liking of mankinis. Now, I'm not sure where that's come from. Unfortunately, I've been the receiver of some photos of him and his mankinis. Not that I've asked for them, but anyway, so that's the only thing you do have to watch out over at 3 Dudes is old Eustace. But no, all jokes aside, I was joking, by the way. Not so much about the mankinis, but yeah, it's a wonderful community, and you should certainly sort of pop over there. Joining is free, and you won't be disappointed. A lot of good banter goes on, and we have our own 3 Dudes Discord server, which are all free to come and join and chat and talk to us all. And when we're on the multiplayer server, that's what we use for our comms and all that sort of stuff. So certainly feel free to jump over and join up and have some fun with us and meet everyone. The second community that I was mentioning is PCSG. So PCSG, quite similarly, is another community based around simulation gaming. It's a little bit bigger, obviously, than 3D. It's been around a little bit longer. Wonko and all the boys over there do a wonderful job as well. Now, obviously, Eustace, myself, Grizzly and Farmer Klein, we're all over on PCSG as well. PCSG also has its own multiplayer server where some of the boys get on regularly and do some streaming from the server. We have some wonderful personalities and YouTubers over there. We have Icelandic Farmer, Rubber Burner, Reefy 1952, although he's part of 3 Dudes as well, but a whole pile of guys over there. So I mean, there's no shortage of farming simulator 17 enthusiasts and plenty of people over there that are very knowledgeable. A lot of our modding community are available through PCSG as well, so you can actually send a direct message to some of the modders and sort of, if you're having a problem with something or you have a suggestion or whatever else. PCSG also has a mod repository where many mods are stored, and they're independently tested by the PCSG community to make sure they are of a good standard, all that sort of stuff. Plus also test to make sure there's no malware or anything else associated with it. Modders such as Black Sheep Modding, LS Mod Company, GTX Mods, some of Stevie's older mods. His newer stuff isn't so much stored there. He's storing that directly on his Facebook page and a download link. I think Dusty Dave's stuff is also over there. I have to double check actually, now I've said that. But yeah, so you know when you download from the PCSG site though that you're getting a safe download, and more importantly probably than anything else is you know that the mod you're downloading is the mod directly from the author. It is not one that's been reposted by some random or it's been modified and all that sort of stuff. So that's the big advantage of getting some of the stuff from PCSG. So please feel free and head over there and join as well. It's free to join as well, obviously. But yeah, so please do so. You can't go wrong with both those communities, honestly. And in all my many years of gaming, and being in the 45 plus year old bracket, yes, that's right. Then they are both communities that by and far the most friendly and enjoyable communities to be part of that I've experienced. So make sure you sort of go over and check them out. And the other good thing is you don't get to hear my voice over there on the actual website, so I don't tend to dribble on or droll on. But anyway, all right. So yeah, so join them up. Also, obviously, don't forget to check out my good friends that are in the links down below in the comments. Eustace Pharmer, Grizzly Bear Sims, Farmer Klein, DoughBoy 2913, Reefy 1952. All these blokes that have their own YouTube channels and some wonderful content, regular content. Boys or lads and all that I don't miss. I tend to try and watch all their episodes as well. It's great fun. It's and occasionally you see a bit of tit for tat on videos, like calling out people and all that sort of stuff. But by and large, some great content. Like Eustace Pharmer, his role playing content is second to none by far. And Grizzly Bear Sims is not far behind, I can assure you. But yeah, and then you got Farmer Klein. He does probably, unbiasedly, I think he certainly does pretty much the best map reviews for Farming Simulator 17 that I've seen from anyone. So he does them quite regularly. I think it's every Tuesday he puts out a map review. So go check his channel out and see his reviews and what his thoughts are of a map. And quite often I've gone to a map just purely because he's recommended it, or I've not gone to a map because he sort of said, well, yeah, it's not necessarily up to par. So yeah. Alright, well what we'll do is we'll continue to sow this field, and we'll sign off the video though, because this is going to take us quite some time, like I said before. So when we come back at the next episode, we might well still be here, but I will try and get it all done before we come back to the next episode. So until next time, this is Duckzorly at Duckzorly Gaming, and we are enjoying our time on this wonderful Penberlan Deluxe map by Dusty Dave Modding. We have as an early access, and we look forward to seeing you again very, very soon back here at Duckzorly Gaming. Until then, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, no matter where you are in the world, and we shall see you again very, very soon. See you later. Bye.